So what do you think of my Father's Day shirt?
It's a very lovely shirt. Not quite... Oh, I see you've got a little bit of detailing along the inseam of the... where things get buttoned up. Nice.
Yeah? Oh, yes. Actually, that was the other thing, too, is I had to decide, am I going to go with an extra button done there and risk looking like one of these guys? Yeah. Or do I do it up and then risk looking like that guy who spends all his time in that library? So but what blew me away was, first of all, I put it on for the first time tonight. I still had the price tag on it.
So it put a price tag on your fatherhood, which is how much?
195 big ones.
That's pretty good for a shirt like that. Nice going.
Thanks.
Nice
I think
going.
So. Yeah, the 14-year-old came through. I think we might be paying her a little too much in the babysitting department, but yeah.
How old's Olivia?
14 going on 19.
I would imagine that Olivia didn't have $194 plus HST.
Yeah, maybe Mom played a role in that as well. There's a good point.
Maybe Mom did.
All right, stand by. Here we go.
Here we go. From the headquarters of Geeks and Beats magazine, now with 1.2 billion subscribers on iTunes and GeoCities, this is the world's most popular podcast with Alan Cross and Michael Hainsworth, featuring musical guest Sting.
So, you think you can start your own band, do you?
The boys from My Fake Band have dropped by Studio 3B to talk about their Kickstarter campaign for an actual physical card game.
Plus, and I can't believe I'm saying this, why you should like K-pop if you don't like Donald Trump.
You don't like K-pop?
And now, Alan Cross and Michael Hainsworth.
Our ace producer, Vanessa Azzoli, came across this really fascinating Kickstarter campaign, and it sort of reminds me of that game that I think I'm not the only one who plays, where when you hear an unusual phrase or term, you ascribe it to the name of a band.
Yes, you'd say, hey, that makes a good band name.
Literally that hydraulic lift system. Oh, yeah, man, I haven't heard hydraulic lift system since they went commercial in the 90s.
Yes.
And so with that in mind, this is My Fake Band. And this is perfect for a COVID-19 type environment where we're all sort of sheltered in place at home and we're spending time with the family. And we can now expand those social bubbles. You know what? I don't even know exactly how to describe this. So why don't we just bring the guys on who put it together?
Let's do that, because this is really interesting. You don't have a lot of music-based games out there.
Trivial Pursuit, I think, is probably where the musicography of your world shines.
Yeah, well, there is a music version of Trivial Pursuit, and that's about the only one I've ever owned, and that's about the only one I've ever played. So let's try this.
Okay. My only Trivial Pursuit game, by the way, is the original one from 1984. So when you play, you can't play the game with today's knowledge. You have to play the game with, well, who was the fastest person alive in 1984? So joining us now is James Hermann and Jesse Hermann, the co-creators of My Fake Band. Your Kickstarter project is about to go live.
Yeah, we launch tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern.
So for those who are listening on the broadcast day of Wednesday, that will be the Thursday onwards. So we got 24 hours for the fans who will listen to us on day one. But after that, you can just go to Kickstarter, punch in My Fake Band, and you guys are going to be up and running.
Perfect. Yeah.
I have been invited back in the old days to parties in which game developers, and these are board game developers, pitched their game to a room full of people who may want to invest in said game. Now, this is how Trivial Pursuit began, and it's how a bunch of people associated with the Trivial Pursuit inventors became very, very rich. And it's kind of awkward because they bring you in. It's kind of like a Tupperware party. They give you a bunch of drinks and a bunch of food, and then you all play the game, and then at the end of it all, it says, how much do you want to invest?
Are you worried that that's what this is all about? At the end of it, we're going to ask you to open your wallet?
No. But what I'm saying is, with the Kickstarter program, it's much better, much less pressure, and I think much more upfront. So, good.
All right, so James, what is this all about? Give us a sense of the idea behind the game in the first place.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, Jesse and I brothers grew up on Long Island, so kind of in and out of the New York City music scene, if you will, going to shows growing up. And personally, I'm very musically not inclined. So my dreams of being in a band, never going to happen because I can't play an instrument. So closest thing that I could come up with was just making funny band names and passing them to my brothers, my friends. And, you know, anytime you hear a funny phrase, a combination of words, it's like, all right, that'd be a funny band name. And then you write it down or you talk about it for a couple of days and on to the next. So that's kind of where this came from. We grew up playing all sorts of games. We mentioned when we were talking earlier, Balderdash, which I'd say this is kind of in the vein of Balderdash, but also very satirical in terms of the cards and the gameplay and how it flows. The object of the game is you're essentially creating a fake band by drawing a fake band card and drawing a genre that fake band performs, essentially, in terms of the type of music. And then it's up to the group to essentially write down what they believe to be the name of the first hit single off of the fake band's debut album.
And you decided to go with a card game as opposed to something that's on a glowing rectangle. How come this isn't an app?
Yeah, neither one of us are app developers. And so we decided to go the card game route. It's a little bit more accessible now. You can design cards online and submit them to a card company to just, pay them to print it out for you and get like a fully made out box, which is what we did with our prototype version. We got 300 cards in it. It's really easy. You just send in the design for the front and back. And hopefully down the line, I think one of our stretch unlocks, if we get funded to a certain level, we're going to hire a developer to make an app out of the game as well.
Well, this is also good for the summertime because who wants to play a game on an app when you're all camping or on the back deck? I think there's something wonderfully old school about board games and card games because it is not electronic. It's tactile. It's something that you can do with everybody else. And then when you get upset with somebody, you can either turn over the board or throw the cards in their face.
My glowing rectangle reminds me at the end of each week now how often I'm actually staring at my phone. So the fact, the thought of putting anything else out there that you have to physically pick up a phone just kind of makes my stomach turn a little bit.
Yes, I agree.
All right, so let's do a round here. So James, you're going to hold up first a band card and then a genre card, and that determines the type of band. And then Alan and I have to come up with what the first single is on that band's first album.
Are we a team or are we playing separately?
Competitive.
Oh, okay.
I'll write one too.
Okay, so it's all three of us.
The name of my new fake band is Granny and Her Panties.
Okay, that's unnecessary, but okay.
And we are a swamp blues band.
A swamp blues band? What is a swamp blues band?
Swamp blues, the definition, Louisiana blues that developed around Baton Rouge in the 1950s and 1960s.
This is true. There is actually a scene like that, or was a scene like that.
So you want to write the first hit single by Granny and Her Panties, the Swamp Blues Band.
So this is just our creativity and imagination?
Correct.
Okay.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Okay, I got one.
Oh, damn.
You still working? This is like the longest Jeopardy answer.
All right. I got mine ready.
Okay.
All right.
You go first, Alan.
Me?
Well, yeah, since you're Mr. Big Shot.
I'm going with simplicity. Granny and Her Panties, the Swamp Blues Band from Louisiana, their first big hit single was Bayou Blues.
Give me. Oh, come on. What? That's not. Are we supposed to be trying to elicit a reaction?
No, there's no wrong answer. So what did you
I thought
come
the
up
idea was it was supposed to be creative and intended to make people. Okay. So then I clearly overreached.
You went with.
All right, so for Granny and Her Panties, the Swamp Blues Band, their first hit single is Mama Ain't My Co-Pilot on This Airboat of Life.
You know what? I'm going to give that to you. I fold.
You
Michael,
fold.
I fold. Michael wins that one.
One round and I've already won.
No. Well, this round you win. Okay, let's go again.
Okay, best 2 out of 3. Is that what you're thinking?
Until I win, we're going to go.
Okay, no, wait. Hey, Jesse wrote one down too.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I
Jesse.
did. I wrote down washboard panty cleaner.
Oh, okay. So
Because washboards in the swamp. I don't know.
yeah, so I would go. Okay,
I'd say Michael takes that one. Throwing that out there.
All right, round 2.
Now I'm thinking of other names.
All right.
Oh,
So
hang on. I'm just hang on.
You're not going to let this go.
No, I'm not. Okay, here's another one. We'll go come back to this.
All right, Jesse, what's the name of your new fake band? Let's hear it.
All right. So I got Personal Space Invader.
Uh-huh.
And we're a pop group.
Do you have K-pop in there, by the way?
K-pop is in there.
Okay.
Especially when BTS is so big. I mean, you got to. Come on.
All right, I got mine.
Okay.
We're waiting for you to be ready for yours.
Yeah. Hang on.
Oh, see, this one's taking a little longer than the last one. The last one you just pulled right out of your ass in a heartbeat.
Okay, you go first this time.
All right. So this is Personal Space Invader, a pop band, and their first single is Shields Up on My Love. Oh, no, hang on. Revision. Shields Up on My Heart.
Okay. I am going to go in a slightly different direction. I am going to assume that this is a J-pop band.
Okay.
And I am going to call this song, their hit song it's going to be called Respect to Nishikado-san.
Did he create Space Invaders or something?
Yes, he did. There we go.
See, I didn't even know that. I'm supposed to be the nerd of the group.
There you go.
Personal Space Invader, the pop group, and the name of my hit single is Baby Girl Ain't Got No Soap.
Baby girl ain't got no. No, I think we have to give this to, I don't know.
For the guy who was saying this should be an app, I've won back-to-back rounds, I think.
All right, let's do one more because I'm not happy with the outcome here. Go ahead.
The Husky section.
Ooh, okay.
We're a disco group.
Oh, really? With that kind of name?
Sorry. I was out loud. Standing by. This is bringing back all sorts of memories of family life at the cottage. Am I the only one who had family life at the cottage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go first. The Husky section, which is a disco group, had a big 12-inch hit with Dance Around My Waistband.
Ooh. All right. Whoa, you're kicking it up a notch. Are you ready for this one? The Husky section disco. Nowhere to go but leather.
Whoa. I don't know. I might have you beat with All You Can Eat Buffet.
Clearly, I need to work on my game.
I think I'm going to go with Alan on this one here.
Oh, I didn't give me a point? Oh. So let me just ask a question here. So as this game progresses, and we've got 4 guys here playing, who is the ultimate judge? Who is the ultimate scorekeeper? Does it rotate among people, or what's the rules?
Right, because we're playing right now just basically a COVID, social distancing version of the game. The actual rules are a little bit different than this.
Right. The game was it was kind of designed for players anywhere between 5 and 6 players. It can accommodate anywhere between 4 and 8 players, but the ideal number of players is 5 to 6. And the way that the game works is, as you go around the group, after all of the song titles have been read by the founding member, each player gets to guess who wrote which song.
Oh, I see.
The object of the game is to match the correct author with the song title. So for each correct guess, the player earns a point.
So your guesses are not based upon what you think is the best song title associated with that fake band, as much as who you think Alan Cross would have written, what he would have written down.
Exactly. So there's a number of house rules that we've come up with, and this is one variation that we're playing right now.
Okay.
Right. This is the quarantine rules. You need a whole separate section dedicated to the quarantine rules because we're going to get that second wave.
Fortunately, hopefully not. I mean, we really miss live music. I don't know about you guys, but.
Well, we miss live music. We miss doing a lot of things, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities to do what you guys are doing. So Kickstarter kicks in the day after this conversation. And as a result of that, how much are you looking to raise and what's success as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, we're looking to raise about $10,000. That'll get the first round of the game produced into the hands of some people. And, even if we're just funded, we'll call it a success. Hopefully things spiral from there. We created a business to launch this Kickstarter so that we could hopefully roll out a couple other games that we've come up with. Got a number of them. One's called the Mustache Game. We got another one that's based on innuendos.
Game is called In Your Endo. So.
Well, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We had a blast.
Thanks for having us.
Michael is the champion, I guess. So congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Better luck next time, my man.
Whatever. I just need a little more time to get my head into the game, that's all.
James Hermann and Jesse Hermann joined us from their respective homes in New York.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. That was a blast.
Ever wanted to be a big shot co-producer? It's just like Hollywood. Visit geeksandbeats.com to learn how you can pad your resume with an exciting show credit. We'll even send you the album cover of your episode, suitable for framing in your parents' basement.
What's this about TikTok teens and K-pop stans sinking that Tulsa Trump rally?
This is really interesting. There was a woman from Fort Dodge in Iowa, TikTok grandma, Mary Jo Laup is her name. And she posted something a couple of weeks back after Trump had mentioned that he was going to restart his campaign rallies in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she said that what everybody should do is reserve tickets for this rally and then just not show up. And this went viral. She had between, 700,000, 900,000 views of this. And a lot of K-pop fans who have become extremely activist against things like white supremacy and police brutality and a variety of other things got together and started reserving these tickets for the Box Center rally in Tulsa.
So this Box Center has, if I understand correctly, 19,000 available seats, but the Trump administration was boasting they had requests for 1 million tickets.
Right. So you had to fill out a form with your name and phone number, and this form was not validated unless you couldn't put a fake phone number in there because that was how it was validated. And so all these people sucked up all these tickets. And it's a first come, first serve situation. So all these people said that they were coming and nobody showed up.
Yeah, the seats were like half full or something to that effect.
No, a third. 6,200 people in an arena that held 19,200 people. And they were so convinced that they were going to get an overflow crowd that they built an outdoor stage so that Trump could do a second speech to the people who couldn't get inside the building. Turns out, though, that nobody showed up. And they're now spinning it saying that, well, it wasn't the K-pop fans and it wasn't the online trolls. It was the media that scared everybody away because they said everybody was going to get sick from COVID-19. So,
they also claimed it was protesters, and it was clearly not a protest
there.
problem up front.
I watched it on TV. There was nobody outside.
So K-pop makes a win.
Yeah, and this is not the first time they did this. The Dallas police had an app called I Watch Dallas, and the idea was to take video, basically snitching on people who were doing bad things. And K-pop fans found this to be a little bit Big Brother, so they bombarded the app with all kinds of K-pop video footage, which then brought the app down, and Dallas police had to take the app down. There was also Whiteout Wednesday and White Lives Matter, those two hashtags. And if you went to any of the social media outlets that were promoting those two events, White Lives Matter and Whiteout Wednesday, they were completely drowned out by K-pop fans who were posting K-pop videos just to shut up these white supremacists. So I don't care what you think about K-pop. It may not be your type of music, but they have a very strong activist community. And at this point, their hearts seem to be in the right place.
Speaking of hearts in the right place, we want to say thank you to Lisa Logan. She is the latest member of the world's worst intern program.
Which means you pay us, you don't do any work, but you can put this on your resume and we will vouch for you.
On LinkedIn even, too. So she is a Patreon supporter, and so she supports us by paying us $1 to work on the show and doesn't do any actual work. And so I fired her off a note saying, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. She says she's a longtime listener and fan of the show, and she even has a miracle travel mug of traveling, my friend.
Very nice.
Which, if you go to the Geeks and Beats website, you can buy one of those for $30. I think we make $5 on it. But through the miracle of science, it keeps hot beverages hot and cold beverages cold.
Can I just interrupt here for a second? I have 2 travel mugs that I sort of alternate depending on how I'm feeling. There's the Miracle Travel Mug of Traveling, which does not have a handle. And then I have a Third Man Records mug that I purchased at Third Man Records in Nashville from Jack White's record company. And I will go back and forth between the 2. And I can tell you that the Miracle Travel Mug of Traveling keeps my hot beverage hot longer by about 110% than Jack White's mug.
Really?
Yes. I made my coffee at 7:30 the other morning, and at 9 o'clock, it was still almost too hot to drink. That's 90 minutes after it came out of the machine.
Well, I'm sure Lisa is having that exact same experience. She actually lives just west of Toronto. She says she's the mom of 2 super smart, healthy teens, and she is a business resilience professional working for one of the big 5 banks.
Business resilience professional. I don't know what that means.
I think that's probably something that we would all need right about now.
Yes. Probably very busy.
Yeah, and she says that seeing as she's still employed during the pandemic, she's making an effort to support businesses that she enjoys, so she loves listening to the show, and so she hopes that her small contribution can help keep things going. Well, I'm doing that same sort of thing, too. I'm sure you are as well. Yes. You know, tipping a little more with the pizza guy and all that
listen,
kind of stuff.
The people who come by with Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes, they're making out really well.
I hope so, because those are the people who are most likely to be at risk. Lisa, by the way, spells her name with 2 I's.
I've seen that.
She's Finnish.
Ooh, that explains it. They love vowels and things.
They do. I just finished watching on the Amazon Prime the 4-part series Inside IKEA.
Oh,
it's like a cult. Oh.
Yeah. Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway. What's the difference?
I don't know why my head went there.
That's okay.
Sorry, Lisa.
Catch all new episodes of Geeks and Beats Wednesdays on iTunes and watch for Geeks and Beats magazine on a newsstand near you. To be part of next week's show, call area code 323-319-NERD. Follow the stories on Twitter or Facebook and get your dose of Geeks and Beats anytime at geeksandbeats.com. The Geeks and Beats podcast would like to thank the National Science Foundation.